Let's talk about it. Don't you wanna talk about it? Let's talk about it. Don't you wanna talk about it? Let's talk
Mr.
about it.
JSpire.
Don't you wanna talk about it? Let's talk about it. Don't you wanna talk about it? Let's talk about it.
Well, hello everyone, and happy Friday. Happy Feel Up Friday. Welcome to the JSpirations live show. I am your host, Mrs. JSpire, and tonight we are hosting Feel Up Friday live. I am so excited, and not only am I excited, but I am honored that you guys are sharing some of your Friday evening with us. I want to say welcome to anyone if this is your first time. I also want to say welcome to the Fill Up Friday faithfuls. So many of you may be also catching the replay. So when you're catching the replay, please be sure to comment, to like, to love, and to share. We do our very best to go back and respond to the comments. So just because you're not watching us live, it doesn't mean that your comments, your statements, your opinion, that it doesn't matter. We want to ensure that we are listening to everyone and that we are filling up. Good evening, Don, and good evening, Lucy. So many of you may be saying, well, what is JSpirations Live and what is Fill Up Friday? And who and what are the Fill Up Friday faithful? So we will address all of those things before we get started tonight. So JSpirations Live is not just a podcast. It is a motivational podcast, and it is a motivational movement. Is it a podcast that spreads motivation, inspiration, and JSpiration throughout the world via Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and with our local and live events as well. So it is a place where we talk about things that matter and we talk to real people. We want to let you guys know that you do not have to do life alone. Here on JSpirations Live, we are transparent, we are encouraging, and we are motivational, because the things that you're going through, I may have been going through, or I may have gone through before, the people that are watching. And so again, we're in this thing together, and you do not have to do life alone. What is Fill Up Friday? Well, Fill Up Friday is a time where we come together at the end of the week to talk about what we filled up on. And sometimes we come on and we have not filled up on anything. Some of us have been running on empty. And so the goal is that if you come here empty, you feel like your glass is halfway full. Half empty or halfway empty, however you want to say it. At the end of this show, we hope that when you leave, that you are filled up on everything that you need. And last but not least, who are our Fill Up Friday faithfuls? Where they are our followers who come on every Friday night to be a part of this conversation and to be a part of the motivation. We have built a family, a friendship, relationships, and so we encourage each other. And we encourage each other to take care of ourselves and to share and to support. So all those things, JSpirations Live. So tonight, we're going to do things just a little bit different. We usually read all of the posts that we've posted throughout the week, and then we talk about how it all comes together. But if you've been following, you realize that some of my posts have been kind of like, woo. So usually I'm coming on and I'm trying to fill you guys up, or sometimes I come on and it's a word for you, but it's something that God has given me. But tonight, I just kind of been thinking about all week how I've have been feeling. I have not been feeling half full. I have not been feeling full. I have basically been running on empty this week. Um, but my sister circle, which is who and what we're going to be talking about tonight, my sister circle has stepped up as they always do, and they have been pouring into me. Many have been pouring into me the majority of my life, and I'm so thankful for that, right? So tonight we're going to talk about the sister circle, but I am going to read a couple of things. Lucy says she's running over. I guess that's why she's been pouring into me so much this week. I'm thankful for the run over. I'm thankful for what gets caught in that saucer, right? And I'm able to get some of that. Good evening, Paula. Good evening, team. I'm sorry, that sounds really weird. So I have to say Aunt Teen. I try to on the show say something different ways, but it's not gonna work like that. So let's talk about a couple of things that we posted this week. I'm not going to do all of them. I'm going to start with something that Bishop S.Y. Younger shared, and he shared this 3 days ago. So he shared it on Tuesday, and when he shared it, I was like, oh, it really spoke to me, not knowing that the rest of the week I was really going to need what he said. But I didn't always have it in me to give it to myself. But he posted a couple days ago that if you're in a hard place right now, you may not be able to move it or change it, but you can speak to it. Use your voice. And then on Wednesday, I'm guessing he must have posted that on Tuesday, right? I can't count. But then on Wednesday, I posted today. Well, I did the Wednesday thoughts and the Wednesday wisdom, but I posted for the thoughts that today I was beating myself up a little bit about some past decisions and having some emotions about things in general, just life. One of my friends called. We have both been busy and we'd only talked via text this year, which is out of the ordinary for us. And when she called, she said, I haven't heard your voice in 2024. I said, I'm glad you called. She spoke life into me today and prayed with and for me. I had to get off of the phone mid prayer. Her before we got off the phone, in Jesus' name. The wisdom part of this was get you some folks that when God puts you on their mind, they check in right away. I'm so thankful no matter what. That morning, I had been having a really hard morning, but it hadn't really come out. I was just kind of feeling just a little off, just a little different. And then on Thursday, I felt like it all came out, right? Like it absolutely all came out. I woke up, I didn't feel well in my body. And that just kind of transpired too. And you guys know, if you're always watching JSpirations Live, this is a transparent show. So you may get laughter, you may get tears, you may get different types of emotions because, again, we're living this life. Hey, Adrian. I'm so glad that you're here. We're living this life and life happens and things happen. And so we're human. And that's why we need each other. And that's why we need each other to come together on Fridays for Fill Up Friday, because sometimes we're running on empty. By Thursday, I was really running on empty, you guys. I mean, when I say empty, I was running on empty. I was in so many different spaces that I wasn't even quite sure what space I was in. So I talked to my little sister and she poured into me and she poured into me and she poured into me. And then you guys know what I did. I got in the shower and I had myself a good cry because that's my space, right? And then when I got out of the shower, I called my friend Paula. I actually texted her and said, you have time to talk? And she didn't right that second. She texted me back and said, hey, this is what I have. And then she called me. I missed it. I called her back and she missed it. And then she called me back. And even though when there are times where I try to be like, oh yeah, I'm fine, because she knows me, then she knew, right, that there was some concern, there was some issue. You guys know how I do. This is a real show. So if you're not here for real talk and real people, you're in the wrong space, because JSpirations Live is real talk and real people. And I'm thankful that I know I don't have to go at it alone. But it was she knew it, right? And she felt it. And she said, if I wasn't so far away right now, I would be at your door. But she poured into me and she poured into me and she poured into me. When I got off the phone, I still felt, honestly, I felt a little bad, but I didn't feel defeated like I felt prior to the phone call. And so as yesterday I kept saying, I'm just going to cancel Philip Friday, not going to do it. I don't have it in me. But then I remembered that I have to continue to push. Paula was like, you are the motivator. It's what you do. It's who you are, right? We're always going to rock with you. We're always going to encourage you. And we know that you know God. And so we know that you can push through. But sometimes the motivator needs some motivation, right? Or needs a motivator. And I'm thankful that I have those people in my life that really know me. They don't want anything from me. They don't need anything from me. Like, we have friendship, we have relationship, but it's not all these other things that they need from me where they're just pulling. They're willing to allow me to sow into their lives and they're willing to sow into mine. So tonight we're going to talk about the sister circle. Um, and honestly, I called a lot of them and said, hey, y'all want to come on tonight? And everybody was like, I can't do it, or I'm nervous to do it. I should call y'all out. But there was Dawn and Paula and Mika and Susan and Amber and Velvet and Monica and Tammy. Everybody's like, Christina, everybody's like, oh, I can't do it. And they're big mouths, right? So, but they're nervous. But I'm going to get them on screen at some point. But what are we going to talk about tonight? We're going to talk about the sister circle. Sometimes we, growing up, we hear things like women can't be friends. There's always different motives, or there's always this, or there's always that. And so sometimes we get into that mode of really believing that and believing that we don't need friends. And have we talked about some of this before? Absolutely. But sometimes things have to come full circle in order for us to really get it, right? Because sometimes we walk through life and we're independent. We can do it all on our own. We don't need anybody. We don't need anything. But that is not the truth. Those are things that the world has kind of like tried to drill into our heads, that we're independent and we don't need, but we do. The Bible says that we have need of each other, right? So your sister circle. You don't have to have a million friends. You don't have to tell everybody your business. You don't have to hang out with everybody. You just need some faithfuls, right? Just a few faithfuls. And I'm so thankful that throughout my life, even when I didn't need or think that I needed, He was yet depositing people into my life that He knew that I would need. So some of the folks that I mentioned, I can't, I don't want to leave people out, but like my friends that I have since I was a child, right? That was the foundation to let me know that friendship was possible and that friendship was positive and friendship was needed. And then I grew up and I went to college, and then He dropped a couple more faithful few right into my life. And I'm thinking, this is all I need. I'm an adult and I'm good. And then a couple years later, He dropped a few more, right? And then about 16 years ago, He dropped a couple more, right? And then 14 years ago, He dropped a couple more into my life. And so I don't have a million friends. I love people, but I thank God for the circle that He put together for me, right? Because we can have this huge circle that's long and wide and it spreads all around. But I thank God that what He put together for me was a circle that I would need when I didn't even know I would need them. He put together for me a resilient group of women, right? That not only do they support me, but they support the other people in the circle that's connected to me, right? So when we're all together, even if it's two from one group, two from another group, It's just like everybody knows each other. Oh yeah, that's Paula. Well, oh yeah, oh that's you're talking about Christina. Oh, you mean Velvin? And it's because they're so connected to me that they love who I love. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm guilty of being a jealous friend. They each group will say, Joe don't like for people to have friends. I'm like, who is that? And it's because this is my tight circle that I love so much. I don't have a corner. And you've heard me talk about that before. And so I want to encourage you not to have a corner because anyone can be in your corner, right? We can go anywhere and just stand in the corner and we can watch, we can observe, we can just scope out things. But that's not what I need. And that's not what you need in this season. What you need is a sister circle who will stand around you and will hold hands together in order to support you. And so I really want to focus in on that sister circle. I'm so thankful because there are times, there are days when I am defeated, when I really feel defeated, and God will send one of my friends, and I will say, I'm not going to call Paula. I won't call Dawn. I'm not going to tell Tammy, I'm not going to call my little sister or my big sister. I'm definitely not going to tell my mom, right? Because I don't want her to worry about me. And I will say, I'm going to go at this alone. And the phone will ring. And sometimes I'll look at it and say, I'm not going to answer that because I know I'm going to cry or I know I'm going to get upset and then they're going to know. But he won't let it rest. If Don calls and I don't answer, Paula may call, Velvin may call, Jeannie may call, somebody's going to call because God lays me on their heart like that. And it doesn't matter what they're doing or what's going on. They take time for me. So I want to encourage you tonight. Don't despise friendship. Don't despise having a circle because of our pride, because of your privacy, because, I don't get along with people like that. No, release those things from your heart and from your mind because God desires you to have someone that you can lean on. God desires for you to have a friend, to have a relationship that you can be transparent with, that they're not worried about what happened in your past. They're not worried about what happened yesterday, but they're concerned about what's happening with you right now. Right. And then they're going to be transparent with you as well. And they are going to sow into your life. Are we supposed to listen to everybody? No. Right? Are we supposed to share with everybody? No. But I promise you, if you ask God to give you a circle, if you allow him to lead you and guide you, who to be around, who to have a relationship with, it's just like any other relationship, right? Like we want healthy relationships with our spouse or with our boyfriend or whatever. It is the same. Friendships are just as important as those other relationships that we have. Like we need people. And yes, we have God, because I know somebody's going to say, well, I don't need nobody but God. Did God not make us? Did God not he made us in his image, right? And the reason that we're out of his image because we get out of his will. But when we're in his will, we're in his image, and he's going to connect us to who we need to be connected to. And it's going to be good, right? It's going to be who and what you need if you open your heart and your mind to have that relationship. So I'm thankful for my sister circle tonight. And, we come on JSpirations Live. My mom's probably going to say, slow down. But when I get passionate, I start going a little fast. So I'm going to slow down. But we come on JSpirations Live every Friday night to help each other fill up. But what are we doing throughout the week to make sure that we are full? Who are we reaching out to? Yes, we're praying. Yes, we're talking to God. I told somebody the other day, he probably is like, girl, you talking again? All you do is talk to me all day long. And yes, I do. But then he also gives me that human person. Don says he gives us helpmeets that we need, right? So yes, so our friends are our helpmeet. And if you're connected with someone that's always, giving you negative input or telling you things to do that's not in his will, or that's negative. Like, yeah, we have to have an open mind. We have to have discernment to know that that's not who we're supposed to be connected to. But yesterday, you guys, I was defeated. When I tell you I was defeated, and Paula spoke life. My sister spoke life. We need those people who are going to speak into us. We need those people who are going to stand around us. They're going to connect with each other. They're going to put their hand on my back, the other people's back that's standing around in that circle, to be able to connect and support. If they're standing over there in the corner, when I fall, they can't catch me. Right? When it's people that's just looking in, that's waiting for things to happen, that's waiting for negativity. Y'all, those things don't just happen on TV and in movies. Those things happen in real life. When things are happening, those are those corner people. It's the circle that you need. That's who's going to catch you. Those are your helpmeets. They are going to catch you and to be there to say, nah, baby, we not falling, right? Or when you do fall down, they're going to fall down with you to be able to pick you up. They're going to sit there and cry with you, right? They're going to, even Todd Tribbett says, only one night though, right? Paula tells me yesterday, I know that you're upset. I know what you're going through. I know what's happening. But listen, that's not what we're doing. We're going to do it for right now. And this morning, on her way to work, well, yesterday, on her way home from work, and then this morning on her way to work, the first thing she was doing was calling me, singing, how are you doing this morning? Right? What's going on? She didn't forget about me. So we need that sister circle. They're not going to forget about you. You want people who, when God puts them on your mind, listen, they're going to do it. They're going to stop what they're doing and they're going to do it. It only takes a text, a quick phone call, an email, right? It doesn't even have to be words. It could be a heart. It could be an emoji. It could be something, right? Just to let you know that they're thinking about you. That's what friendship is. And that's what that sister circle is. Deborah says, oh, yes, we can't get stuck. Absolutely. That's why we've been talking about resilience for the last couple years, right? We don't have to be strong. We're resilient. We're going to have those moments. Yesterday, I could not have gotten on JSpirations Live and did anybody's podcast, right? I couldn't have gotten on here and talked about anything because that's how defeated I was. But because of those words of encouragement that I received yesterday, this morning I got up with a different attitude. Did my body still feel kind of? Yeah, absolutely. But my mind was different, right? And so I was able to get up and move and do what I needed to do. And that's why I'm here tonight, because yes, I'm here because of God. Of course, we know that, right? We're beyond that conversation. We already know. We know who he is. We know what he does. We know how much he loves us. We know he gives us strength. We know all of those. So we're beyond that conversation. We're already in the know with that. That's our foundation. But then I'm talking about the helpmeets that he's given us, right? That they encourage us right here, right? That God has given them that heart of encouragement, right? People could look at you when you're down, and because there are people who do it, who's like, whatever, there she is again crying. There she is again upset. There she is again feeling sorry for herself. But no, when God gives them that heart and he gives them that heart for you, they're going to listen to you cry over and over again. They're going to be okay with that, right? Because I'm the motivator, I always say I'm not going to bother anybody because I don't want to wear anybody down, right? I don't want to put my stuff on them, right? I know they're tired of hearing it. I know they're tired of talking about it. And when I say things like that, my sister circle, they get upset with me because they're like, you having this conversation with yourself. Nobody has said that, because they want to be there for me. So tonight, what am I saying? Tonight, first of all, I'm saying I'm so thankful for my sister circle. I'm thankful for those people who could choose to stand over in the corner and just watch, but they don't have the heart to do that. That God has given them a heart for me, and that they want to be my circle, that they want to be able to stay in there to support me and encourage me. So I'm so thankful for my circle, for my sister circle. And I say sister circle because they're not my friends anymore. They're my sisters. They are my family. And I'm selective about saying that's my family, but they are my family. And so I'm encouraging you tonight to be open. I'm encouraging you tonight to be part of a sister circle and then allow a sister circle to be a part of your life. Yes, practice discernment as God, who you're supposed to be connected to, who you're supposed to talk to, who's supposed to be in your support system. And I promise you, he will give you who and what you need. My mom is always she says it so much, and I'm just like, Mom, you just told me that. But she says it a lot that she is just amazed by the friends that I have. She's amazed at how they treat me, how they're there for me. She's amazed at how we do things for each other. And all I could ever say is, Mom, like, you're right, because they are amazing. And I'm so thankful for them. I think she asked about them more than she asked about me because they have become her girls. Why? Because they love her daughter. And she knows that they love me, and that is genuine, right? So she's always asking about them, and she's always concerned about them. And so I'm so thankful for my circle. And so I want you guys to know that if God has given you a circle, or he has allowed you to be a part of a circle, that is an honor, right? And it's a responsibility that you should not take lightly. For a long time, I took it lightly. Um, and sometimes I think back and say, man, like, I don't feel like I was the best friend, right? The best of a friend, or I should have did this and I didn't. And so now I'm so thankful that I am learning how to be a better friend. I am learning how to be there, and not just to talk, but also just to listen. And I'm learning how to be more open-minded about things. And I'm learning just to be able to hear their hearts, right? And really just think about, it's not about material things, what we can give, or any of those things. I was talking to my friend Christina tonight. I hope she's on here. But Christina and I, and you guys, I'm gonna call people out a little bit just because stories come to my mind. I'm not, because I can't talk about everybody. But I know before the show tonight, I talked to Christina. And Christina and I met in 2014. And Paula, I know you rock with me. Believe me, girl, I know you rock with me. Um, and Don, I'm thankful for you guys too. Christina and I were talking, and we met back in 2014. I was telling her what I was going to talk about tonight. I said, "You don't want to come on?" She was like, "No, come on. I'm going to be watching, but I'm not coming on camera." And when I met Christina, like, I didn't think that she and I would be this close. Our kids met each other there, the same age. And it was like, hey, and the kids we playing or whatever. And, I think to today, how close we are and how much we do for each other, right? And how much we're there for each other and how intentional God is. We live this close to each other. And we've been in the same city and we didn't know each other. And then we found out when we met that we had lived in the same part of the city previously before we moved where we moved to, right? But we didn't know how intentional our meeting each other would be. We didn't know how much we would need each other, how much we would lean on each other, how much we would do things with each other's family, for each other's family. Like, we didn't know it. So she's no longer like just my friend. She's my family. And I was like, honestly, I wouldn't have thought it. She's younger than me, different places in our lives or whatever. I was just like, hey, girl. But God is so intentional, and we don't know who we need, but God knows who we need. He knows what's going to happen in our lives and who we're going to need. And it's been the same way, for everybody. And you'll hear me talk back about Don and Paula is because I know they're on here because they're commenting. But, I met them and it was like, hey, y'all, but I didn't think it would be like this, right? Like, because you don't know. But we we work together. And I think Don said it the other day when we were talking. Most of the time, you meet people at work, and then if they leave the job or whatever, it's usually like you don't really talk to them anymore. But God had connected us so that even when we stopped working together, that bond and that relationship, it got stronger and stronger, right? It was strengthened because he knew what was going to happen, and that we would need each other the way that we do. So, it's Friday, and I don't like to keep you guys long, but I just wanted to publicly say, and if you're part of my circle, you're part of my circle. So I don't have to mention everybody. My circle knows who my circle is. And so I'm so thankful for you guys tonight. And I want you guys to, as you're watching and you're listening, I want you to really think about the importance of friendship. Friendship is not just a, hey, that's my friend. Friendship is important. Friendship is needed. Friendship is purposeful. Friendship is intentional. Friendship is valuable, right? And you may have one friend, and that's okay. You don't need 50. You may have three friends. Again, that's okay. You don't need 50, because it's not about the quality of people that you have, it's the quantity. And so I'm thankful for the quality of the friendships that I have. And my mom says I love that circle. And I know that she really does. If she calls and says, "Have you talked to Paula?" And I say, "You know what? I ain't talked to her in the last 2 days." She say, "What's wrong with y'all? Is everybody okay?" She wants to know. You didn't talk to Don? Well, where's Mika? She wants to know. Have you talked to Velvet? Like, she wants to know, because if I say I haven't, and she wants to know, well, what happened? Because how is Christina? She wants to know, because she knows that she may not be right here with me, but she knows that my circle is genuine, and that my circle is legit. So I love you guys. I want you to practice some self-care. Adrian says, "I don't have a sister circle, but hopefully one day I will." Adrian, I encourage you to really, it sounds cliche because people say, it's always like, well, talk to God about it, but it is the honest truth. Talk to God about what you need, what you desire, right? The same way we do it for a mate, the same way we do it for a job. Talk to God about what you desire to have in a sister circle. And if you tell him what your desires are, I promise you that he will give you who you need. Um, if you're like me, you are be nervous about meeting people, right? Nervous about sharing your business, nervous about like who people are. But I promise you, because I was like that. I don't want no friends. I don't need people in my business. I don't want to do that. I'm gonna keep the friends that I had since I was, 8, and that's all I need. And I thank God that the friends that I have since I was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, it's 5 of us, and I still have them. They are my foundation. But God also knew that we would live in different areas, even though God knows when something major happened in my life. I looked up, and those girls were here, like right here. It was no question. I didn't even know when they were coming or what was happening. I just know I looked up and they were all here. But before they could get here, the other part of my circle that lives right where I am, God had already dispatched them because he knew that I would need them in that season. And so I thank God for them because I needed more. My foundation, of course, I had and I needed them, but like I said, we were spread out everywhere. But God knew that I would need the other part of my circle to be right here with me. And then when they all came together, it was amazing, right? Because I felt like, listen, it doesn't matter what happens, it doesn't matter what goes on, if it doesn't matter which way I lean, right? Which way I may be get ready to fall. I knew that one of them, right? And thinking about how powerful they are together, but I knew that everybody was in alignment, right? I knew that those girls were going to be there. to catch me. And I'm talking about my sister circle, but I also have biological sisters. I have three sisters, and they are the foundation of my circle, right? That God has built upon, right? And even my sisters love my circle, and my circle loves my sisters, right? So it's just been amazing all the way around. And the same with my sisters, their circles, right? Like it's the same thing. I love their circles. JY may be listening, and that's part of my older sisters, one of my older sisters' circle. And when I met her, I was like, she always with my sister, and she always, but guess what? Now she's my sister too, because God plants, right? He sees. And so not only did my sister need her in her circle, but our family needed her in our circle. And that's the same thing with my circle. My family needs my circle as well. So when they couldn't be here, they know I'm in good hands. Right. So I pray that God, if that is the desire of your heart to have a sister circle, I pray that God will give you who and what you need. Now, Don has a circle. So as long as Don has a circle, you know you got a circle too. So you just open your hands and grab somebody's hand that's part of the circle. And that's what it is too. Like, siblings and sisters, like we build upon because God gives that circle what we need. So Adrian says, I'm a chatty Cathy who talks to everyone. I just haven't met anyone in the 13 years I've been here in GA. I've felt a friendship connection with. Well, I pray that God, if that is your desire, I pray that God gives you who and what you need. All right, you guys. So who knows what we'll be talking about next week on Fill Up Friday. I hope that, if you came empty, that you are full. If you came full, I hope that you're still leaving full. I know that Lucy said that she's been full all week. I've been pulling on her, but I know she said she's been full. So I'm thankful that she's full. So I'm thankful when my circle is full because that salsa still gets the run over too. And so I'm thankful that I can get the run over from the saucer when my circle is full. So you guys, I want you to enjoy the rest of your night. I want you to enjoy your weekend. Many of us have a long weekend. I want you to love on yourself. I want you to do something that serves you well, right? Something that makes you feel good, something positive, something that fills up your cup. I want you to join us again next Friday night right here for Fill Up Friday live. You never know what we're going to be talking about. And I've been working on trying to get some things done, but I'm transparent and I'm honest. I've been a little empty, been a little defeated, so I'm working, but I'm thanking God that He gives me strength and that like Deborah said, we can't get stuck, but that we can have our moments. So I love you guys. Again, enjoy the rest of your weekend. JSpire someone and be JSpire. Have a great weekend.